Even the experts with their models didn't seem to believe it themselves. Here's Neil Ferguson, the British epidemiologist who was the voice of gloom and doom over there in the UK, but his work was cited globally as the terrifying reason to lock us all down. Even I referred to his work months ago at his Imperial College study showing how many people likely died in China, but he was wrong. Not just wrong, he apparently didn't even believe it himself. While he was hectoring the UK to stay at home and not to mix households, not to go outside, he was having a secret romantic affair with a married woman, a mom. She would leave her household, leave her husband and kids behind, and go to his place for their trysts. So he obviously never really believed separate the household things himself. He loved being a celebrity these past 2 months. He loved how suddenly people listened to him, even politicians. He loved the power of telling a nation and the world be locked up and them doing it. But he never even really believed it himself, or at least he felt he was above following his own rules for his lover. That's worth remembering when we think about other so-called experts with their models telling us the world will end unless we, pay a carbon tax or stop using fossil fuels or whatever that doom and gloom prediction says. Look at the economic carnage from just 2 months of this. Imagine doing this permanently on purpose to save the world. Imagine how much pain and death that would cause. Here's a sad but predictable story from British Columbia. Because everyone cleared out the hospitals to make way for that wave of virus cases that never came, that spike. So many elective surgeries had to be postponed. I know what an elective surgery is. It means something that's not an emergency. You choose to do it. But you leave something like that for a while, it becomes an emergency. Cataract surgery to see, a hip replacement. Are those emergencies? They probably feel like they are to the person in question. How many cancer exams were missed because of the panic? So how many people don't know they have cancer? It wasn't diagnosed. I guarantee you that more Canadians will have died from the shutdown of our normal health regimen than from the virus by the time this is done. And that doesn't even add in those who will die from poverty-inflicted causes from the Great Recession. Suicides alone will be in the hundreds. Add 1% more to the unemployment rolls in Canada. That's an additional 150 suicides per percentage. I think Canadians are done with the virus, and we're done with the panic and the overreaction. I think some people aren't. People who were given a surprise paid vacation, and by that I mean people living in the unreality of government land. Government employees who get paid no matter what, and I include teachers in that. University professors, experts in things like transgenderism or whatever, all of the people who hector us, they're just taking a vacation. You think they were laid off? They were not laid off. Only the little people were. Waiters, waitresses, shopkeepers, barbers. Show me someone who wants the lockdown to continue, and I'll show you either a megalomaniac like Neil Ferguson and Theresa Tam, or a politician loving the limelight, or someone who's getting paid to watch Netflix all day because their government bureaucracy shut down. And then there's just the absurd policing. Like the mom who was arrested, handcuffed, and put in the police car, separated from her 5-year-old daughter for the crime of going on a swing in a park.
He didn't want to hear it. He grabbed my arm, took my backpack off, proceeded to put me in handcuffs, separated me from my daughter. I was taken up to the police vehicle where a cop did a body search on me, and it was very thorough and invasive. From there, they put me into the back of the cop car, and I didn't even know where my daughter was at that time. They went through all my things against my will. We were separated for about 20 minutes. He called me an idiot and yelled in my face. They finally came back and released me from the cop car, took my handcuffs off, and gave me an $880 ticket.
Yeah, there has not been a single death in Canada of a child due to a coronavirus, let alone caught outside, not one single case. I wonder if there's something to that, In the 1918-1919 Spanish flu, doctors said that sunshine and fresh air were actually the most effective therapy of everything they tried, as opposed to being indoors with bad air, which just happens to describe seniors' homes, doesn't it? The opposite of which is parks and playgrounds, which our know-nothing experts told us was illegal. Yeah, no. I think people are pretty much done with all this. That's an excerpt from my daily show, the Ezra Levant Show. Every day I do a monologue on the news of the day, then I interview an interesting guest, and then I read my hate mail. You gotta subscribe. Go to rebelnews.com.